Yo, Creative Drive. Today I'm talking about feeling behind in life. The thing about it is, feeling behind in life is for the most part boils down to perspective. People at all walks of life feel behind in life. You know, it's for one, feeling behind in life starts with some sort of comparison. Or expectation of where you believe you should be at in this moment. But there's so many angles to view it from. For instance, are you feeling as though you're behind in life because you're comparing yourself to other people in your age group, your peers? Perhaps people that you went to high school with, right? So there's one aspect to look at it from this perspective of like, okay, what things did you pursue? And what risks did you take? Because you got different life paths. So you take a life path, right, that involves very little risk, and there are achievement levels that lead to advancement and promotions and raises. If you take that route and you perform well enough to meet the expectations and the quotas, then you will advance. But if you're doing something else, if you're pursuing an art, or if you're an entrepreneur, it's not as defined. It's not milestones that just lead to absolute achievement. It goes back to perspective on how you're viewing it. You might look at it and be like, man, you're not where you want to be, because you look around and you got a bunch of friends that's traveling the world. Those friends also might not have children. You might have 4 children. So, are you behind because you have 4 children and you can't follow the world or travel the world? It depends on how you look at it, But comparing your present tense reality to what you think it could or should be is an exercise in futility. I mean, because even if you are behind in your mind because you made a bunch of dumbass mistakes, right? You still don't know what would have happened if you didn't make the mistakes. You could have made every right move and got hit by a bus. Or you could have made every right move and been sitting on top of the world. So it's like nothing is absolute, nothing's certain anyway. Then what can you do with that feeling of feeling like you're behind in life? So one thing is to realize why you feel that way. Do you feel that way? Okay, let's say there's a mistakes you made. Okay, boom. Identify those mistakes you've made. All right. But now at this point, I know why I'm here. I know the mistakes I've made. I will be more precise in my decision-making process going forward and avoid those same pitfalls. Or you were in a relationship, or you had a divorce, or whatever kind of setbacks that you've had in the past, or hindrances that you've had in the past. You have to identify all those things emotionally and psychologically and understand, okay, well, this happened because of this. This was because of that. Okay, I had these fears because of this, or there's so many factors involved. But you have to identify, if you truly feel as though you're behind, you have to identify the why. Then also identify if it's just ambition, if you want more for yourself. Because if you want more for yourself, if you're ambitious, you're always gonna feel behind. You're always gonna feel like I'm not there yet. You know. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because that's what propels. And then being behind is like, shit, a slingshot, you gotta pull that bitch back. You gotta hold that bitch. You're not just pulling it back and letting go. You pull that bitch back and you aiming it at your target. So you also use that time to prepare the launch pad, you know? Like, okay, identify the deficiencies, identify the tumbling points, the stumbling blocks, and determine what it is you want. Because another thing is we can't excel at everything. You know, the guy that wins the decathlon, he's not going to win any one of those events in the Olympics. He's not going to win a sprint against world-class sprinters, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're excelling in these areas, you can't expect to excel in all areas. So if you're looking at life like, dang, I'm behind here. Well, if this guy over here goes to the gym for 3 hours a day, and you compare your fitness progress to him, you're always going to be fucking behind, because you're not putting 3 hours in there. You might be fucking practicing piano 3 hours a day. And that same guy got a fucking drum in his garage that he feels behind on because he only practices 20 minutes a week. So see, this is like a never-ending topic. There's so many angles to view it from. it kind of goes back to another thing about living in the moment, because one of the best cures for all this psychological anguish and angst is moving as close as you can to the present moment and living there. You don't got time to think about that shit. When you living in the present moment, you know, in order to feel like you behind, you comparing your present. What is it? It's like you comparing your present to the past, in a sense. Like, I'm not where I want to be right now because my past didn't get me to where I want to be at. Fuck it. We gotta start fucking in the present and make sure we are where we want to be at in the fucking future. That's it. It's like easier said than done, but like at the end of the day, that's what it fucking comes down to. Yeah, this is another one I'm gonna have to get back to, because this shit felt like I was walking through a maze talking about it. But yeah, I had to park. I'm at the fucking Burger King parking lot, like, god damn. Shit. But yeah, Creative Drive. We out. Peace.